Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Shelley's Kitchen. So today I'm actually not going to be cooking a new dish, but we're going to be talking about some of the dishes that I've already cooked. So this segment is really about freezing foods. One of the things I showed you on last week with the whole wheat blueberry pancakes is that typically I don't make them fresh every week. I told you last week that I cook them in batches. I usually double the recipe. If you double a recipe, what I gave you last week, it'll actually produce about 12 pancakes. So I said to you last week that I'll take them and then I put them 2 at a time in a sandwich bag. And then I take the sandwich bags. Sandwich bags are less expensive than freezer bags. And then I just put the whole batch of them in one freezer bag. So now you've saved money. So then what I do is I'll take the pancakes, and this is actually sat out a little bit. So you're going to vary the time based upon, first of all, the power of your microwave. I'm going to put this one in for about 2 minutes. Okay, so we're going to get this started. Notice that I also took it out of the plastic. I don't microwave anything in plastic or in a plastic dish because the plastic has been known to break down and actually can get into your food. So I'm going to go on and start this for 2 minutes. Again, you might need a little more, a little less. You can pretty much tell by seeing the bubbling of the blueberries in the pancake. So while that's going on, let's kind of turn our attention to a few other items. As many of you know, follow me on Facebook, you know I love to garden. And typically I grow lots of vegetables, but I also grow herbs. And one of the herbs that I grow is actually mint. I like having mint in hot tea or just in my glass of water. And I found a great way to preserve mint and keep the freshness is by freezing. So what I'll do is I'll actually take I bought an ice tray because, of course, now all of our refrigerators have ice makers, but bought an ice tray, and then I put about the number of mint I would use in one serving. I have about 3 mints in this, put water in it, and then now you've frozen an entire summer, if you want, of mint, and mint grows really, really well. So if that's something that you like, you can actually grow it in a pot, and it grows really, really well, preserves well, and you can now have mint year-round. Another thing that I like doing with freezing is, so I love to bake, but I don't always have time to bake. And while I'm not trying to advocate for any particular merchant, I do love the baked goods at Publix. And they have these wonderful little mini pies. They've got blueberry and apple and peach and all kinds of things. We usually love the blueberries, and blueberries are good for you. And so we'll buy these. A lot of times Publix will have these buy one, get one free. So that's my freezer time. I'll take these so that they don't go to waste. I'll put them in a freezer bag and then put it in my freezer. And then if I know I'd like to have some dessert later on, then what I'll do is I'll take it out in the morning, and in the evening I don't even have to microwave it if I don't want to. It's fully preserved. The crust, it's not soggy. It is just absolutely perfect as if you just bought it. We usually zap it for about 10 seconds or so because we'll have a scoop of ice cream with it, so it's pretty nice. So our pancakes are ready. I'm going to go in and take them out. And while I don't use syrup on mine because it's actually sweet enough with the blueberries, my husband does add a little bit. So I'm just putting a little bit of spreadable butter. Of course, you know I'm using butter. I like this particular, Land O'Lakes has one that's butter with olive oil and seasoned salt. And again, remember I told you about the importance of reading the ingredients. It has sweet cream, olive oil, salt, and sea salt. Very simple. Love those one syllable ingredients. And so just take a look. These blueberry pancakes look absolutely fantastic and wonderful, and I'm going to be enjoying them here momentarily. So one last thing that I want to talk about is about leftovers. Now, I know that's a bad word to some people. I have friends, and I've told them about freezing their leftovers. They're like, oh, you know, my spouse doesn't like leftovers. And, you know, my question is, why? What people don't realize about leftovers is that, and if you cook, you do understand this, is that when you're able to freeze something, usually the next day, or if you have it, if you don't have it the next day, you freeze it, or if you do have it the next day, the spices, the seasonings have had a chance now to soak into the meat, the pasta, the vegetables, so it's more flavorful the next day than actually the day that you prepare them. So we've got to get away from this. I don't eat leftovers. If it's because you don't like having the same thing the next day, fine. That's why you freeze. So what I do is a lot of things I actually cook in my crock pot, and I will be showing some dishes. I'll make chicken and dumplings, chili. I'll make my collard greens or kale or any of those. I even roasted a turkey breast in my crock pot. Fantastic. But if I've made a whole pot of collard greens, it's only the two of us. We're not going to be able to eat all these collard greens. So I'll just put enough in a package that I know I can warm this up, and then we can split it, and here's my serving. So that's how you can still have healthy, simple, delicious meals just by freezing them. You don't have to have it the next day if your family is opposed to eating something the next day that they, you know, just had. Just freeze it, pull it out later that week, pull it out the next week, especially for things that take a long time to cook. So that's what we have for this week. What I would ask that you do, many of you have liked the videos, and I really appreciate that. If you would share it, you find it, you know, what I'm sharing is helpful, share the video, just that lower right button on in your Facebook page, just share it. It'll appear on your timeline, and then other people can take advantage of some of the advice that I've been given. So until next week, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.